There's a scene in Blow. It's a movie starring Johnny Depp. Fantastic movie where he's talking to the main drug supplier and telling him how in America, when you get the celebrities, like, hooked on a drug, that culturally will, just trickle downstream and it'll be a fashionable thing to do. And that notion isn't like, wasn't new to the movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I believe that there is a level of hate from the celebrity class that gets sent Donald Trump's way because he was one of them. He was just a celebrity, like, a random guy that's in the spotlight, makes headlines every da 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 da. Now he's president, and it pisses him off. And that's where I think a lot of the Hollywood Trump derangement syndrome comes from. And I think in particular when it comes to Alec Baldwin, he's like, I'm better looking than Trump. I can't help but feel like that's a big, like, I'm better looking. Has he ever played a president? I'm not sure, but he really feels like he has the chops to do it. And so when it comes to stuff like this, if they were reasonable, if they lived on the same planet as us, they know that this was a bad idea. But because Alec Baldwin is amongst the Hollywood, really communist class, then he's just like, yeah, yo, like, I could have did it. And now everything he says is just completely off the rails. This is coming to us from the Washington Times. Alec Baldwin bashes millions of Americans, says only mentally ill will vote for Trump. This is written by Douglas Ernst. And I dare to ask Mr. Baldwin the same question that I ask anybody else. Who else? Who you gonna vote for? Who else? Who else is there? Biden? Seriously? For real? By all means, try to make that argument in the comments. This is written by Douglas Ernst. Alec Baldwin is convinced that only mentally ill Americans will vote for President Trump's re-election in November because, that works so great for Hillary as a strategy. The liberal activist, quote unquote, pivoted from his 2019 stance that voters took poison pills of racist hatred. Golly, before voting for Mr. Trump, now maintaining that millions will pull the lever for the Republican due to mental illness. There's tons of mental illness in this country, sir, but this really feels like the pot calling the kettle black in a lot of ways. Trump has reached for it and nearly gained a control of the federal government unrivaled by other presidents. What? He tweeted Wednesday. He fired huge numbers of government professionals. He steamrolled the Congress whenever possible. And now the criticism of the World Health Organization, if you vote for Trump again, you are mentally ill. Sir, you are someone who lives on a different planet than the rest of us, Mr. Baldwin. Deal is that, China did start it, whether you want to admit that or not. Because I'm not crazy. I talked about this like long before, back when, they said that it started coming this way. So yeah, we saw that, this came from China. Like, not too much else to say. The World Health Organization has been like in their bag, in their pocket, trying to. Most recently, the guy that runs it came out talking about, oh yeah, well, we can't politicize this, and oh, if you say it came from China, it's race. It's not race. It's just a fact. We can't sit here and don't do that. Don't do that. But the deal is that, like, the opposition is so damn. I guess the opposition to truth is so damn intense on muddying the waters that they they expect you just like, wait, like they expect it to slip past you, and like, no, we can't. We really can't. If you vote for Trump again, you are mentally ill. The actor's previous tweet included an article by the New York Times. Yeah, that beacon. Then the New York Times recently get reamed because they tried to say that the president had a stock in one of the companies that owned what he's been touting as something that could help along with this, along with the current situation. And but the stock that he has is in like he's like there's like 45 degrees of separation between him and the stock. So even I think Snopes came out and was like, nah, bro, come on, yo, like, take it easy, New York Times. times. But that's the thing. If you sit here and try to look at it objectively, Trump's done a rather good job, despite having one hand tied behind his back with with a Congress that's just, oh yeah, everything he says is wrong. Trump, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man. It's like guys, come on, look, stop. At some point, it's just like, wait a second, Russia, Ukraine, impeachment, like all the different, just all the different things. Now I'm actually having conversations with people where they're like, yeah, this is on Trump. Like, bruh, the situation in the state of New Jersey is on the governor of New Jersey, not on Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump, because Trump has ultimately been hands off. He's like, yo, you know what, states, go do your job. And he's there to be like, to root for him, because ultimately he is the president of the United States and he's here as a backup. Like, there was this time during the like last week where they're trying to say, oh well, if the ventilators aren't for the United States, then who are they for? And I'm like, and all you have to say, well, the states should have their own stockpiles and supplies. Like, there are different chains of command. You're governed by 4 different governing bodies all the time, guys. Seriously, there's no point in pretending as if there's just because it's the United States that it should, like it's not for the federal level of government, not the state level of government, which the federal leans on in many ways. So like, he's done actually a pretty good job, and I think that the Hollywood types just don't know how to handle it. They really don't. Okay, so the WHO really blew it, Mr. Trump tweeted Tuesday. For some reason, funded largely by the United States, yet very China-centric, we will be giving that a good look. Fortunately, I rejected their advice on keeping our borders open to China early on. Why did they give us such a faulty recommendation? Good question, Mr. President. Mr. Baldwin's rhetoric in recent months has also included the claim that Mr. Trump is a greater threat than the contagion. The pandemic that threatens the world is Trump, Mr. Baldwin tweeted February 29th. The virus in the U.S. began in January of 2017. The vaccine arrives in November, he added, in March 31st. Johns Hopkins University tabulated over 4,000 deaths in New York City as a result of the, but we don't know if it's for or by, right? We don't, like, they already told us that they're jacking up the numbers, so we don't know if it's for or by. Either ways, guys. So Hollywood, Alec Baldwin, like, it's just hate. That's it. They just hating. And the thing about Trump is he brushed that shit off, because it's like, yo, man, I ain't got no time for this. I'm the president. I'm doing big things over here. I'm trying to get things knocked out, and y'all just keep, birds are chirping, and it's crazy that he can handle it. Like, seemingly, just like the sweat rolling off his back. Good on him, seriously. So guys, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff, if you like to toss it like this, go ahead, do that too. Don't be scared of you. Sub. You enjoy my fantastic voice, and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? Is it anything other than hate? Alec Baldwin, he's like, yo, I'm handsome, and he feels like he's just as famous as Trump. Like, he probably before felt like he was more famous than Trump, and then Trump becomes president, and he just don't know how to handle it. In their weirdo celebrity meat judging contest, Trump got one over on all of them, and now they're like, yo, they're alpha blood. It's crazy. So, but you may disagree, and that's what my comment section's for. Until the next one.